Hats off to entrepreneurs. You bring value to our community by creating jobs and building wealth. Aspire Enterprise of Florida is your premier one-stop resource for strategic business coaching, business trainings, and business services. Our elite team of business professionals have over 30 years of expertise to serve small business owners, not-for-profit organizations, and individuals. Aspire Enterprise, where your needs are our priority.
Palm Bay and our surrounding communities, I would like to thank you for your tremendous support. As we move into the fall months, Palm Bay Live is seeking your support so we can continue to deliver valuable programming. Your monetary donations will help us so we can achieve those goals. You can donate online at www.palmbaylive.com. Advertisers are also welcome. Palm Bay Live is a non-profit organization. Thank you for your continued support. Infrastructure is essential to a healthy and vibrant community. Why is it essential? You also want to prioritize and listen to the voice of teachers. How will you do this, sir? Let's get to the most urgent question of the way first. What should the legal punishment be for putting pineapple on pizza? So let's talk about that. I mean,
management style. Okay.
Let's talk about that. There's something you could have done differently in the way you manage things. I also discovered that you were also fined $750 due to inaccuracies on some financial disclosure documents. Can you opine on that? Talk about how that happened and why it happened. Palm Bay, together we have done so much in the last several months. You have given me the opportunity to bring the candidates for office to you via your phone, TV, and computer. You have helped me interview the candidates, and we have debated the issues via our social media platforms. It's been a long election cycle with highs and lows. I've seen many messages of gratitude, and I want you to know I appreciate every message sent to me. Thank you, Palm Bay and our surrounding cities, for allowing me to bring Palm Bay Live to you.
It is not only an honor to have been selected to move forward, but I also am honored that the vision for the city of a future, I believe, rests on the shoulders of that type of leadership. And so I want to thank you for this opportunity to share that message. I want to thank you for reaching out to me. It is a humbling experience to receive a blessing from the entire community for me to move forward onto November. So I'm up to the challenge. I'm up to show my leadership capacity for this city and moving forward. May God bless you. May God keep you. And may God continue to bless our great city, the city we call Palm Bay. Hoorah!
You believe that infrastructure is the number one problem in Palm Bay? What does a strong city infrastructure look like to you?
You know, a strong infrastructure to me is good road, good lighting, what's going to protect people from floods, hurricanes, and also that's going to attract business, you know, manufacturing. Protect people from floods.
Hi, Palm Bay, and welcome to yet another edition of Palm Bay Live, the last edition of Palm Bay Live. In regards to the political cycle, thank you for joining me tonight. And today, with me in the studio, is Mr. Ron McLean and Mr. Jeff Bailey, Councilman Jeff Bailey is going to be here with me to review the election results for Brevard County and Palm Bay and a whole. So welcome, gentlemen, to the broadcast.
Hey, Kevin.
How you doing?
Hey, Ron.
Thank you for the invite.
No problem.
How are you, Mr. Bailey?
Okay, awesome.
Doing well.
Awesome. So it is 20 minutes up before 7 p.m. I mean, we are Pretty much at the wire. We're close to the polls being closed at 7 p.m. The polls are closed. At a present count, I'm looking at 79.82% voter turnout, 360,000 ballots cast, and Brevard County has an active eligible voters roll of 452,160 voters right now as on the records. So 79.82%. We're not doing bad, gentlemen. What do you think?
Well, Kevin, I track it closely in Palm Bay. I've been tracking the precinct level numbers in Palm Bay all day. And what I'm noticing is that Palm Bay usually lags about 2 points behind. We're lagging by a few more points than normal. So it's interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what the final count is. But right now we're around 74%.
Okay. Awesome. Well,
What
are your thoughts,
Kevin? Actually, I did a little bit of research. So for this episode, I could actually be prepared and actually pretend to sound like I know what I'm talking about. So you let me know how well I'm doing with that.
Okay.
So I did a little bit of research. So I went back and looked at all of the presidential elections going all the way back to 2000. And the highest voter turnout that Brevard County had was about 82, just slightly over 82%. That was in 2008. And we're pretty close. We're getting there. I think we got like another 15 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see a little bit higher turnout, just because that means that everyone is engaged. And
Right.
when everyone's engaged, that also means it gives me as a geek a little bit more data to play around with and mess around with. And so I get to hypothesize on what the voters are thinking, what the voters are looking at, and as well as how the candidates are performing. So I'm tracking it just like you are.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So that is good. So it looks like we're on our way to our historic highs here. And I mean, all week this week, and if you guys see me posting on Facebook, I've been pretty much pushing for 100% voter turnout, but we're close. I mean, this thing updates every 10 minutes, I believe. So let me see if any more tallies came in here. As of now, nope, it's still at 79.82% at this point in time. And so we're looking for at least above 82, right? To beat that record.
That would exceed the highest in the last 20 years.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
that's
what. Yeah, and I can tell you a lot of people I do a little bit of behind the scenes stuff with campaigns, obviously my own, and other people who do this, professionally. I was talking to them, and we all expected maybe as high as 85. So we're kind of coming in there. It looks like again, one of the biggest findings I'm seeing and looking at the numbers is that Palm Bay is lagging behind. Maybe there's going to be some long lines. I know Kevin was out at some of the polling locations. I was too. They were packed to the brim over there on Port Malabar Road here in Palm Bay. So it's going to be interesting to see what impact that has here locally. And Kevin, I'm hoping that a lot of people watching might be thinking locally. I know everybody's going to be looking at Trump Biden, of course, nationally, and looking at the U.S. Senate. Those are going to be of particular interest. But no, luckily in Brevard County, we have our 3 races in Palm Bay, but we also have very competitive races for mayor in Melbourne and Cocoa. And it's kind of hard to guess how they're going to turn out. So I'm really curious to see how those shake out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be. My key interest is going to be the commission's race. Mr. Tobias, I'm C2 as well. I'm going to be looking at. I want to get an overview of the Melbourne race too as well, because that was hotly contested. And the Cocoa area. I know there were some issues up there as well as for it. It looks like they wanted to be a little Palm Bay, because there were some scandals that brew that came to spotlight last week that I didn't get to touch on, but it is out there. So I would like to see what comes of that. And so yeah, so that would be awesome to see how that turns out. So I think I have a roving reporter on the road, and I think he's indicating that he's ready. So if he is, shake your head, sir. Let me know you're ready. Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna remove you guys from the screen here for a second.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring my roving reporter up on the screen, and he's gonna interview. He's gonna help me interview. Actually, let me leave you guys out because we're gonna ask this candidate some questions, and you guys are gonna be. You guys should be knowledgeable on who this candidate is. And so, Rob Shorth, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, sir.
Thank you for doing this for me.
No problem. Hello, Jeff.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Okay,
Rob.
awesome. And
So
How are you today?
I'm gonna
Who do you
hand
who do you
turn the
have
phone
today?
over to this candidate right here.
All
Have him
right.
hold the phone.
Good evening.
How are you doing, Mr. Guam? How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
Good, good, good. I did not get to meet you today at the polling station, and so I made sure that Rob came and saw you first to get some insight from you and how you feeling about tonight's election.
Cautiously optimistic. I've been down this road before.
Okay, all right, all right. Any questions for him, guys? Jeff or Ron?
I've already asked him a billion questions. I'm just wondering. I don't have anything for you. I'm sorry. I'm blank.
Like I said, the questions are always the same. The only thing that changes is the person asking them.
Okay, okay. So
Hey,
Mr.
Ship-
Brown,
Hey, Shipwreck, how you doing, man?
win by tonight, sir?
What's that?
How many points do you think you're going to win by tonight? What's your percentage outlook? What is your prediction as to how tonight will be?
You know, all it takes is 50% plus one vote. I'd be happy with that.
Okay, all right, all right, all right. And I asked all the candidates this: are you ready to go to work?
Tomorrow morning.
I
I think I'm the only candidate ready to go to work tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think you are.
All right, all right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yes, sir. So we wanted to get to you first, and we know the polls are not closed, but the situation is that the different events are spread out so far that I wanted Rob to make sure come and visit you first before he try to go to the other candidate.
Yeah, we filled up.
I had another candidate that did not want to be interviewed. That's here.
Okay,
But,
is he ready to go on?
We
No, she does not. She does not want to be interviewed.
She.
I'll leave it at that. Yes.
But we filled up fired up pizza, and
Okay.
we're gonna eat some dinner, break some bread, and watch the election returns, and hopefully have a celebration here in about an hour,
Okay.
if not less.
All right, we'll look forward
right.
to that. And sir, and again, I wish you best of luck. The polls close here in 10 minutes. The numbers should come in very quickly. And so we'll be watching it with you to see the outcome of this race. Now, good luck to you.
Great, thank you.
All righty.
Hey, good luck, Shipwreck.
All right.
Yeah, Mrs. Nardi did not want
Did not want to come on.
to come on. She's with her family, so she's just chilling out, non-election mode.
Okay, I got you.
So-
All right, sir. Are you heading
All
to
right,
the next location, sir?
Actually, I don't even know if he's there yet, but I'm gonna try and see if he's there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, sir. Now,
All right.
all right, thank you. See you in a bit.
See you
Bye.
shortly.
All righty. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So that's how we do it here in Palm Bay Live. We have a roving reporter now. We're advancing.
You're moving up in the world, man.
We're moving up in the world. Yes, we are.
So
Yeah.
for those that don't know, Tom and I actually served in Desert Storm around the same time. So we
Okay.
were both in the Navy. So that Kev, you're a
Yeah.
CB.
Mhm.
So that kind of gives us permission to kind of rank on each other a little
Yeah.
bit. That's why I call him Shipwreck.
Yeah, okay. I got you. Now I know the term. All right. So we're watching this. We're 8 minutes out, guys. 8 minutes out. And while we're waiting, we're at 80%. The 8 minutes out, we're now at 80.01%.
Okay.
So we have 361,000 votes cast. 361,763 is the number that we're looking at right now. We're 80% voter turnout at this present point. Will we make it to at least 83? I don't know. I don't know. But while we're waiting, I want to say I want to give some thanks, some accolades, because I know this show is going to move rapidly, because we are all going to be interested in the general elections, the big stuff that's beyond Palm Bay Life. So I want to give some shout outs, some accolades, and say thank you to Palm Bay, thank you to the Palm Bay City Council, Councilman Jeff Bailey, Brian Anderson, everyone that has embraced me since I started this program. All the city council personnel, the city manager, everybody has come on board behind me, have shown their support behind me, have given me advice, word of wisdom, everything. I mean, there's some folks beyond that. We had folks that step in when I just started the program and was trying to get my feet wet. And I mean, I'm gonna miss some names here, but folks like Susan Hodges, she has pretty much embraced me and pretty much, give me words of comfort from time to time. And pretty much, and for those who are in the Republican world, they will know who that is. But definitely, the council individuals and have always, Mr. Bailey is always at a phone call. Anytime something goes awry, I pick up the phone and he would give me advice. Same with Mr. Brian Anderson and, and Mr. Capote as well. And I thank you guys for that. From the public world, people like Mr. Lockwood, Thomas Guam, Carmen Vitale, all those individuals have always step up and give me words of thoughts and comfort and that kind of thing along the way. Thank you for your support. But there's one person I can't miss out. That's my wife, because she has been a tremendous support. She's pretty much allowed me to do this. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. So I thank you to my wife for allowing me to continue to do this. It's been a long several months of painless nights of sitting up, writing out questions, coming up with questions for all the different candidates, researching their backgrounds. And I did have a secret weapon that was able to help me with that. And she's not, doesn't want me to call her name, but she was able to research material for me on the different candidates and help me put these questions together for the candidates. But Palm Bay Life is not going to stop here. Palm Bay Life is going to continue. We're going to continue with the website. We're going to continue with the public forums. And that kind of thing. And so I already started putting together a format for that. Folks like Miss Renee Felty has stepped up and to be a part of that. So we'll continue to have these kind of meetings from time to time to bring light to what is going on at City Hall, and also to bring light to what's going on in the community. So it's not just going to be about politics all the time. We're going to have different topics that's going to be coming to the forefront that we will need to discuss. So when you guys have stuff that you want to be able to put some light on, let me know. It could be a public event that is happening at your park or wherever. Let me know about it so I can be able to put light on it. So it's been a long couple of months. And dear, thank you, Miss Atkins, for typing that, because guess what? I would have forgotten Miss Atkins, because Marcy Atkins also, I've learned so much about her, but she has also stepped up. She has called me from time to time. A lot of folks in the public sphere has stepped up and called me and offer words of wisdom and give me an ear or two when I go wrong and put me back on the right path and that kind of thing. And so it's been a long couple months, but we're here. It's election night. And we are 3 minutes out. Anything thoughts you guys want to? Any thoughts you guys have? While I look to see what's going on here.
Well, it
Jeff?
is always good whenever you have community support, and it definitely sounds like you have that. And I was also going to add in, if you forgot to mention your wife, I got a couch that you can borrow, man. You don't have to worry about anybody sneaking up on you while you're, sleeping or anything.
No,
You might have a dog licking your feet every now and then because he's a freak like that. But I'm just saying.
No, I wasn't gonna forget my wife. She's been very a good support with this. She has that give me any she knows when I Tuesdays and Thursdays are my nights and that I come up here and as long as I have a show going on, she leaves me alone. She allows me to do this so I can provide this service to the community. I mean, Palm Bay Live was actually created a year ago. That's what a lot of folks don't know. I created a platform. I created everything for Palm Bay Live, but I sat on it because I didn't know what direction I was going to go. The corporation, the 501c didn't come about until about right after COVID hit, and everything started going into lockdown. I pretty much put everything to work, and I said, okay, this is the direction that we're going to go to. But the amazing part about it was when I saw the 501c came back approved within a month. That was amazing during COVID.
Wow.
During COVID. And when that happened, I said, that's God. God is behind this. For that to happen within a month of it, me putting this together, that's God is behind this. I continued. And then I reached out to the different individuals to kind of put the show together and to make it happen. But that's what it is. Yeah. So as we wait here, we're 1 minute out.
Kevin.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I see Mr. McLean. That's why I say yes,
really?
ma'am.
Hey, so since we're handing out thanks, this is my secret weapon, right? Actually, she's my sounding board.
Yes.
So every time we talk, I'm like, well, Kevin said this, and I talked to Kevin, and Kevin this, and then Kevin that, and she has put up with me saying Kevin more
For the last
times
several
than
months, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
And I thank you for letting him to me. Thank you for letting him to me. Yeah, because he's been my sounding board from when I'm sitting here and I have other issues that popped up, and I know Mr. Bailey's at school and I can't sound off on him. So I say, Ron, X, Y, and Z, what are your thoughts?
No, I already know. When I get the text, all it says is bro. ... Like, hold on.
Yeah. So the public, do you guys have questions for me? This is your time. Hey, I'm going to put myself on the spot here while we wait for the results. If you have questions for me, let me know.
It's 7 o'clock.
It's 7 o'clock.
Yep,
Let's go.
is.
Let's see what the polls
And
are.
actually, I'm checking our voter turnout.
Okay. So Jeff, you're going to help us out. And Mr. McLean, tell us what you've seen in these races.
Kevin, I think we topped out at 80.09%. So effectively 80.1%.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Palm Bay, I was just updating the numbers from 650. I don't know what they're going to be the final numbers, but I think we're pretty close. Palm Bay is about 79% turnout.
Okay.
So we did come up a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Packing in.
So the question that I have though, are people still standing in line at Tony Rosa or anywhere else? And if
Yeah,
so, are those
we don't know. That we don't
is
know.
that going to count towards our turnout, and are those votes going to be counted?
Yeah, that's when sometimes you'll see some precincts come in because they don't have anybody have lines. But then some of them are coming in a little bit later because they got to let those lines go through.
So, so the standing rule still is if you're in line, you're still going to vote, right?
Yeah, I don't know the technicalities of it, but that's the general gist.
Okay. Yeah, that's my understanding of it.
Like and share this video. I didn't get to do that. Share this video to all multiple platforms, social media platforms out there, so folks can know that we're doing this show. Because I've been on the road, as you can probably see, interviewing candidates today, so I didn't get to do that legwork. So share it. Help me share to multiple different groups out there, so folks can know that we're doing this. And we're about to give you the results in live and living color, and hopefully we can get some of these candidates on the phone. We can see once we know who the winners are. Hopefully, we'll see who we can get and take it from there. But we are going to be Mr. Bailey, while we wait for the tallies to start reporting, tell me how soon after, I think I know the answer, but I want you to say that line to me again. After this is certified, will we have a swearing-in ceremony for these candidates?
So I think there's 10 days that the supervisors of elections have to collect overseas absentees. Whenever they decide to certify and they're ready, it gets sent to the city clerk. And our charter says that they will call a special council, a special council meeting to vote on certifying receipt of that. And that's when we have the swearing in. Generally, we're talking about like the third week of November, maybe the last week of November.
Okay.
And by the way, we've got absentee and the early voting in, it looks like.
Okay.
Big lead for Randy Foster, about 10,000 votes, 60 to 40. More interesting, Rob Medina. We expected the Democrat-leaning candidates to be up early. Rob Medina has about a 5-point lead, and it's approximately 3,000 votes coming in for mayor. And then Donnie Felix is leading by about 2,500 votes. So that's kind of so Donnie Felix is kind of what we expected. Randy Foster might be a tough one, but the Rob Medina one, I think it looks like we can probably say it. Rob probably is going to win this one.
Okay. All right.
Where are you getting your numbers from?
I'm trying to find it.
Supervisor of election.
Yeah.
Brevard.org.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go there.
And I'm going to be right back, guys. I got to take a quick phone call. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. All right. So while he's doing that, let's see here.
There it is.
You found it? Yeah. So
I'm looking at it right now. You know, Kevin, another interesting race that I'm looking that I actually have it written down here that I want to keep my thumb on is Randy Fine and Phil Moore. You know,
yes,
Phil outperformed
how are we doing
all the other Democrats the last time that we had this type of election. Phil outperformed everybody, and so I'm really curious to see how well he does this time around. At present, Randy Fine is leading basically 53 to 47%.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And
how is the C3 race doing?
let's see. I'm scrolling down to that now. C3. At present, I see Randy Foster with 60%, and Shipwreck, my buddy, is at 39%.
Okay. 60 to 39?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
And C2, I see Donnie Felix with effectively 53% and Pete Filiberto at 47%.
Okay.
So I actually made a little spreadsheet. I told you I'm a geek. So what I'm going to try to do, and maybe we can talk about it in a later show. We can look and see how well these candidates performed after all the votes have been counted. And the thing that I'm curious about is some of the crossover voters. So you might have some Republicans that might decide to vote Democrat, or you might have some Democrats that might decide to vote Republican. So candidate performance usually is indicative of what the people are thinking, what the people are feeling with respect to their message. So this is, again, I'm a little bit of a geek, and I have my handy dandy spreadsheet here. So once we're able to get some final numbers in, it will be interesting to essentially do like a post-mortem to see how well the candidates actually performed.
Okay. All right. Keep your while Mr. Bailey comes back here, keep looking at that, because all I'm not sure why my tabs are not working for me. I'm trying to see the election results with you guys too as well live, so I can share them on the screen.
Again, let me try to fill in some dead air. So if you go to the Supervisor of Elections website, you'll see that the Democrats lead with mail-in voting. The GOP, or our Republican voters, lead in early voting and election day voting. So far, by my last tally, the Republicans are outpacing Democratic voters by about 53,000 votes. Now, one of the things that is effectively like the X factor is our NPA voters. Those, you can't really track which way they go one way or the other because, well, unless you talk to them or you have like a focus group or something where you get really granular with the data. But normally your NPAs, they vote the same way that they have been voting for however long that they've been an NPA. So that's your X factor. And that actually might be why we're seeing some of the somewhat surprising numbers that we're seeing, because you never know which way they're going to go.
Right. Currently, I'm looking at the sheriff race. Mr. Ivy, Wayne Ivy, Sheriff Ivy is leading 63% to Alton Edmond 36%. So that was, I mean, everybody was kind of expecting something like that. But as far as the blowout is concerned, thoughts on that, Mr. Bailey?
What was I'm sorry, what were the numbers on that one again?
63 to 36.
That's about where I expect him, and that's with Democrat heavy votes.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect him. I've had a feeling. To me, a good showing for Mr. Edmond would have been 40%. That would have been a good showing. So he's about where I expect.
Okay, all right. For those who are thinking about the Ms. Isnardi and William Capote race, Mayor Capote, Christine Isnardi is leading at 56%. Mayor Capote is at 43%, a difference of about 6,000 votes between each.
Yeah, she's probably going to break 60%.
Okay. Melbourne race. I've been closely eyeing this right now. Mr. Paul Alfrey is leading by 37%. Lisa Bugs is right behind at 29%. CJ Johnson's at 20%, and Molly Tasker is at 13%. So it's a difference of 2,000 votes roughly between Paul and Hazel. So, and I had Hazel on the program last night for those who watched Palm Bay Live last night. So that's why I'm watching that. So yeah. And it looks like Mr. Felix, Donnie Felix in C2 is running away with this thing right now at 52%. But not all the ballots are counted, and not all the different precincts are in. So we have to wait and see. Mr.
Expect that one to get a lot tighter.
Yeah,
that's C2. I don't think you. Right now, I think it's hard for Mr. Gom to overcome the lead for Randy Foster, and I don't think Kay is going to do it with Medina either. But the one to really watch right now, I think that's in question, C2.
C2. Okay. So you think that C3 pretty much set for Randy Foster?
Yeah, there's only about 25,000 more votes. They've counted about 45,000 of them, maybe 50. And there's only about 66,000 votes. So that's more than half. That's way over more than half. Mr. Gom would probably have to carry 75% of the rest. That's a pretty tall order.
Right. Okay, awesome. So yeah, so let's see how this right now we're waiting for all the ballots, all the boxes to be counted. We have 16 different precincts that have to report. So once that is done, then we will know where we stand. So I'll keep refreshing this thing, and yeah, you guys can.
Kevin, I'm looking at State Rep District 52, which I think is the part of Vieira, and Lloyd Dabbs. I think he's pretty much a newcomer to the political scene here in Brevard County. He's slightly over 40%. So going by Mr. Bailey's benchmark there, he's making a pretty strong showing for basically for a newcomer fresh out of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, keep in mind whenever I talk about the sheriff's race, look historically. Last time when the sheriff had a a challenger, he was around that 60 percentile mark. Obviously, we lean Republican in this county, usually pretty. It's not 100%. There's some precincts in the or counties in the country that 90% one way or the other, but it's certainly solid. And the thing about it is, there just seems to be this tendency that Republicans, sheriffs that are, the talk tough and are tough on crime, they tend to get the break. They get some detractors from the Democrat Party and from the independents out there tend to go that way. They feel safer, without trusting that type of candidate. So I would say that his bar was a little bit lower for Mr. Edmond than it was for some of these other districts.
Okay. How are we doing on that? That school tax. That's the penny tax. I'm trying to find that.
Oh yeah, I didn't look at that one.
Yeah.
Right at the very bottom. Should be last.
Half cents. Okay, there it is. 69 voted yes so far. There's 171 precincts that would have to report for that one. But right now, the yes is there's a yes for half cent sales tax at 69%. No's are 30%.
Yeah, and keep in mind, unlike in the past, this was on the ballot twice previously. It failed, then it passed in 14. But the times whenever it barely passed in 14, and this certainly is going to go down a little bit probably with election day, but it's going to win. It's going to be successful. But the last two times where it lost and it was close, it was relatively close both times. There was an organized opposition to it. You didn't see that this time, and I think people are a little bit distracted with everything else. So I think that's kind of a pro-incumbent mood, if I could. Outside the presidency, because people are so distracted by the presidency,
right.
So they kind of go with what they know.
Right. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here so folks can see what we're talking about. If it's larger, and I'm pretty sure, hopefully it's larger on your screen, but I'm just going to scroll down here so you guys can take a look at what's going on, what we're talking about. Let's share here but this is the website that we're tracking. So right now the school board half cent sales tax 69%, and that was something that I was watching to see how we're going to vote on that. Everybody's going to have their opinions on how that should be. Some will argue that it's needed in order to keep the physical structure of the buildings intact on a daily basis. Those funds are much needed. So, and others will argue, no, they have gotten enough money already. So why should we give them more money? So so everybody's going to have their own opinion on that one. So I was carefully watching that one to see what the outcome would be. I'm going to scroll back up here to see what's going on with these other races right now. We're still at the same numbers, and I'll do a refresh. Well, it's refreshing for me every 5 seconds. So let's see if we have any. Yep, we got one ballot. Well, let's see. We got something just happened right now. So let's see. Just refreshed. So I'm going to scroll back up to see what we got. Okay, so we got 2 precincts reporting for Palm Bay. K Mirage is at 47%. Rob Medina is at 52%. Donnie Felix at C2 is at 52%. Peter Filberto is at 47%. Rondi Foster is at 60%. Thomas Guam is at 39% for seat 3. So that's still pretty much the same as far as results. That has not really moved a needle. Let's see. Yeah, so that's where we at right now. So guys, anybody want to predict how the night is going to end?
For which one?
Let's start with the easy one. C2.
Let's go.
Let me
Where
look
are
real
we?
quick. I'm just getting refreshed. I was just moving everything over. You can go ahead, Ron, if you'd like.
I'm scrolling down myself. All right, C2. You know what? This is
3,500.
this is actually still kind of close. There's only maybe about less than 3,000 votes separating Mr. Felix and Mr. Filiberto. Although Mr. Felix is leading still by that 53%. According to this, there's 2 out of 16 precincts reporting. Yeah, Mr. Bailey, you might have some more insight on this than what I'm currently able to
Well, I mean,
assess.
we're
I
saying
think
that
Donnie wins.
tighter, right?
Yeah.
It's going to get tighter as more ballots or more precincts are counted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So as we get more and more in, this is me personally, I would still say I would lean toward Donnie Felix, sorry. But I wouldn't necessarily call it yet.
No, I
Yeah,
can't call it yet.
I don't. It certainly could swing. I think this could end up in a recount situation. I think it's automatic. I think it's 0.5% or lower. I should know that. I actually was in a recount back in 2014 myself, but I'd only won by less than 100 votes. But this right here, I think Donnie's going to win by about 1,000. That's my guess. I think Mr. It's 2,500 down right now. Filiberto is. I think he'll make up about 1,500 of it. Is based on what I've seen, the demographic breakdown for who voted today, and it depends on particularly which 2 of these precincts came in. But we know that there was a partisan intent to all these races. You end up with it. We essentially had a slate of 3 Democrat-backed candidates. We had a slate of 3 Republican-backed candidates. That certainly is one big indicator. It's not the only one. We see that it's all over the place. We have, the votes are definitely, there are a lot of split tickets here. So, but I think it serves as the base of it. So that's my prediction that Donnie will hold on to this.
Yeah.
Right. And I just did a quick math here, and there's 2,300 votes separating Rob Medina and Kay Mirage.
Okay.
With
2
of the 16.
Yeah.
2 of the 16 precincts reporting.
14 precincts to count. So this could get tighter as the night goes on. And we don't know where, because of the makeup of the city, we can't say this is a Democratic portion of the city and this is we can't do that kind of math. That would not work for this.
No. Well, then again, you have to remember this is 2020. So
yeah. Right.
It is interesting. It looks like in Cocoa, there was a 5-way race. You had essentially 5 people who have been elected officials in some capacity, 1 incumbent mayor, 2 former mayors, a former port commissioner, and then a former soil and water, I guess, commissioner, I think is what they refer to themselves as. So you had 5 people, including an incumbent, in Cocoa. And so it's quite interesting to watch that one and see. It looks like Michael Blake, he's making a comeback. He's a fellow teacher like myself, making a comeback as mayor because he's got a pretty big lead. He's at 36%. The next closest person is the incumbent Jake Williams at 24. And they're they're a lot smaller city than us, but there's out of just under 7,000 votes, they've got about 800, I think, between the 2 of them, which is pretty significant. Like I said, that's over 10% gap. I think that's going to be hard for anybody to make up on election day. And election day is probably going to favor 2 of the other candidates, not Jake Williams. So I think Michael Blake's probably going to pull this one away.
Okay. For those who are keeping track, the County Commission District 3 race, John Tibaya is at 53%. Sandra Patel is at 46% right now. And believe it or not, there were some folks who wrote in candidates. There were 6 to 8 votes for that.
Yeah.
People
actually 46, almost 47% is a very respectable showing for Sanjay.
Yeah. So that's happening. And there's 6 precincts reported for there is 29 precincts total for this District 3 County Commission race. Let's see. Rita Pritchett go up against Dwight Siegler for County Commission District 1. Miss Pritchett is soundly in the lead. She is definitely going to win this one. There's only one precinct reporting, and she's at 64% to Dwight Siegler 35%. So I think we can safely say that she won that race where that is concerned. Let's see, what else we looking at, guys?
I'm looking at Randy Fine and Phil.
Yeah, that one I'm keeping an eye on that one because it's kind of close, and there's only 5 precincts reported right now. No, it's just got updated. Now we got 13 precincts reported. 53% Randy Fine, Fillmore 46%, with 13 precincts reported in that race. So that is still about the same in percentage points. Still about the same. And let's go down and see what's going on with our Palm Bay races to see if that gets updated.
Not much changes.
Not much change.
One final note for Phil: he's actually performing about the same so far, only slightly better than he did last election cycle.
Right. Okay. So let's see. Now we got not much changes for the Palm Bay races yet. So nothing to report here. The averages, the percentiles are still roughly the same. K Mirage is at 47%. Rob Medina is at 52% with 4 precincts reporting. And the C2, Donnie Felix is at 52. Peter Filberto is at 47% with 4 seats reporting as well. Randy Foster is at 60%. Thomas Guam, 39% with 4 seats reporting. And I see Mr. Forrest is back, so we will get him on live here in a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, just touching real quick on the Melbourne races, it looks like Paul Alfrey. I'm thinking that Election Day is not going to help Hazel Buggs catch up any. She's down about 3,500 votes right now. Okay. So I think Paul, so there's probably going to be no change there. He's just going to move to a different seat. Tim Thomas is going to beat Dean Patarakis by about 20 points, it looks like. And it looks like Yvonne, I think Yvonne had the most competitive of the incumbents. They had 4 people on the ballot, or 4 seats, excuse me. 3 of them were essentially incumbents or already held a seat on the council. Yvonne Minus was the one that I thought maybe had a decent challenge from David Newman, but she's also holding about 2,700 votes, and I think she's going to win pretty easily. I don't think he's going to make that up on Election Day there either. But the one that was an open seat was seat 5, where Paul Alfrey moved from. Mm-hmm. That seat looks like Mimi Hanley. I believe she was backed by the Democrat slate, if I remember correctly, from Democrat Flyer. She's got about a 1,700 vote lead on Samantha Nazario. So that was interesting to watch, see who that new person is there, and if it is another somebody who leans on the left of the aisle, that is a little bit of a shift on that council. But that was only brought about by an open seat. You'll see that the incumbents are standing pretty strong.
Okay. All right. So I want to bring my roving reporter on the screen now, and I see he has a candidate with him. Let's see who it is. Rob Shores, welcome back. Thank you for doing this for me again.
No problem, sir. I have Mr. Filiberto with me.
Kevin, how you doing, sir?
How you doing, Mr. Filiberto? You see, we went high tech this time around.
I like it. You got reporters following. I like it.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? So just want to let you guys know it's early yet. Still enthusiastic. I think we're going to pull this through, and I'm going to continue on with the party and watching the results here. And that's really all I'm about to have to say. I think the rest are going to pull through and elect Pete Filiberto.
Okay, all right. So with 4 precincts reporting, I think you know the results right now. 52-47.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We have pretty much 12 more boxes, 12 more count. So we know where we at from at that. You guys have any questions for Phil?
I can't really hear you right now, Kevin. I'm sorry. It's a little loud.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, get back to
It's a party. It's supposed to be loud.
Yeah, I talked to your mom today. She's very, very nice lady. She said, remember,
Kevin, I appreciate your dedication to the Palm Bay residents and doing this. All right, sir?
yes, no problem.
I'm going to give it back to the reporter now. And thank you. Thank you again, sir.
No
Have a
problem.
good one.
You
See you
too.
guys.
See you, Pete.
All right, yeah, it's pretty loud where we were, but
Okay, no
that's all
problem.
I have for now.
Okay, so bye for now. And you heading off to another area, or did you find where the other candidate is?
The other candidate, I believe, is with Mr. Posey.
Okay, and you're not going to be able to get there.
No.
Okay, all right, that's all right.
So
That's
we're good for now.
So we're good for now. Thank you so much for doing this, and I will try to get the others on the phone if I can. Thank you, Rob. For
No
your service.
problem, sir.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.
See you, Rob.
All right. So that was enough for the roving reporter for tonight. Yeah, so this week we have gone high tech with Palm Bay Live. I like this. So yeah, where we at
Oh, man,
now?
that's the way it's supposed to be. You know, you
Yeah.
chase folks down, see what they're thinking, how they're feeling in the middle of the election.
In the
and
moment,
get,
right? In the moment,
well,
yeah.
in the
it's
moment,
unique.
and it,
Huh? Say again, Mr. Bailey?
So it's unique to have the feeling there. I mean, having been in this situation several times and with candidates, getting it on the spots is something it's important. And I can tell you, typically in the past, it's one of those things where quite frankly, for me, I knew mine was close in 14, kind of like Mr. Phil Burrows is right now. And then in 18, I felt pretty confident. I won by a nice margin, but still, it's kind of like I didn't want to be caught in that moment. But it's kind of special to remember, and everybody reacts differently, and it'll be a memory.
Yeah. Okay. I see YouTubers asking if there's an indication between K Mirage and Rob Medina race. Right now, we're looking at 4 precincts reporting, and the K Mirage is at 47%. Rob Medina is at 52%. So Mr. Medina is in the lead right now with 4 precincts reporting. We have 12 more precincts to count. So we have to wait for that update. So the SOE has been very good of updating this website every so often. So we should get an update here in a second, and we'll be able to report those numbers as they appear. And so yeah, here we are. I mean, in the meantime, I asked you guys earlier if you guys have questions for me about Palm Bay Live or anything about me, because I mean, I never put myself on that shopping. But if you guys have questions for me, you feel free to go ahead and ask. I mean, tonight is your night to do that while we're waiting for the results. But yeah, we're doing good with these precincts so far. And if there's any other particular races that you guys have concern about too, we'll be happy to tell you those numbers as they come in. City of in the Atlantic, I was looking at the voter roll that the SOE had sent me earlier this week. And I was amazed. I didn't realize that that in the Atlantic is very small area. Not a lot of registered voters there. I was like, whoa, that's the number. I was like, wow, that was quite interesting to me. So yeah, I think on their closing books, I'm trying to pull up on the closing books here. In the Atlantic has a total of 2,582 registered voters. Does that sound right to you, Mr. Bailey?
What's that?
In the Atlantic, having 2,582 voters.
Yeah, that's smaller than my precinct.
Yeah, literally. I'm looking at their closing books. They have this thing there for the audience who doesn't know. The SOE publishes what they call a book closing at the end of any period, and after registration has closed, and they show how many registered voters each city has. So they send that to me, and I was able to go over it. And by looking at it, I was like, whoa. So it was eye-popping to look at the amount of voters that are in these particular areas. I didn't expect the numbers to be that small compared to, well, and Palm Bay is one of those largest ones. We have 82,928 voters total in the city of Palm Bay. Let's see, yeah. So basically, Palm Bay is the largest, the largest on the voter roll right now that I can see. So the second largest is going to be Melbourne. Melbourne has 58,525 voters total. So Palm Bay, sorry about that. Palm Bay is the largest in demographics. So we're here. So let's see if we have an update. Any updates yet? Nope.
Last update was 2 minutes ago. We got 2 more precincts, I think, maybe since the last time we talked about it. Nothing's really changed. I think, again, we saw the mayor's race. Rob Medina's at 43, a little bit over, over 53, excuse me. So that one got a little bit further apart. And then the seat 2, Donnie Felix and Peter, I think it inched up just a little bit, maybe by about a 1/10 or 2/10 of a point, but not much of a change.
Interesting.
Smaller precincts.
So the update with the Randy Fine, Phil Moore race.
About that. That's interesting.
At this point, Mr. Fine has already accrued 13% more votes than he got last cycle, and Mr. Moore got 17, basically almost 18% more votes than he did last time. So again, at the beginning of the program, I talked about candidate performance and these crossover voters. And it seems like Mr. Moore is picking up some of the crossover voters, but I don't think yet it's enough to overcome Mr. Fine's lead.
Yeah, we have pretty much 17 more precincts to count in that for District 53.
Yes, that's
there
correct.
is a 7,000 for the audience who's not seeing this. There's a 7,000, roughly a 7,000 vote difference between Brandy Fine and Phil Moore. So that is something to keep your eyes on to see if Mr. Moore could close that gap. I mean, I don't know if Mr. Moore will win, but let's see if he closes the gap even more going into the night. So that's what I'll be looking out for, to see how much more he closes that gap. And it goes back to what Ron was saying. People are crossing over. People did indicate when I did these interviews that they're Republican and they're going to be voting Democrat this time around. So you did have those kind of comments from time to time. So Mr. Moore seems to be making some inways where that is concerned. Inroads, I should say. Let's see. Anything else? Nope.
I think it is fair to call County Commission District 3. I think that's slightly over half of the precincts that are reporting.
Right. So Mr. Tobiah will still remain in that seat for District 3. What's there? 32,604 votes. Sandra Patel, 27,344 votes. So yeah, it's fair to say that Mr. Tobiah has won County Commission District 3. Palm Bay Live
5, I think it's fair. You can call that one as well. 24 out of 29 precincts.
Yeah, only 5 more precincts to report, and Miss Isnardi is going to retain her seat against Mr. Capote. So Mrs. Nardi has won the race with 36,584 votes. Well, look at us calling races on Palm Bay Live. I got to take in the moment. Mr. Bailey,
who knew we could do math too, you know?
Yeah. I do this all the time. I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is just the first time I have a camera on me while I'm doing it.
Well, the thing that you can't see that I really have my shoes off, and when you can't see my hands, I'm using my toes to help count.
Yeah. Wow. Let's
Yeah, if
see.
it wasn't for this spreadsheet, man, let me tell you, I'd be hurting up here.
Okay, all right. With 6
Okay, where we
precincts
at?
reported, this is where we at with the mayoral race. K Mirage is at 46%. Rob Medina is at 53%. C2, Donnie Felix is at 52%. Peter Filberto is at 47%. Ronnie Foster is at 60%. Thomas Guam is at 39%. So I don't see how Mr. Guam will make up those numbers for the rest of the night. What do you guys think?
That's still about 40% of the precincts, 40% of the vote counted with respect to what's being reported with the number of precincts being reporting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible, but not very likely.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing would probably go with Rob Medina and K Mirage. I mean, it's 40%. I think it would be fair if it was closer to 50%. So if we had 8 out of 16 precincts reporting, you'd be a little bit more comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
calling the race. But it's 37.5%.
Right. The
So
K
there's
Mirage and the
still,
Medina thing. That's pretty close, don't you think, Mr. Bailey? That's like a difference of what, 4,000 votes?
Yeah, that is pretty close. I'm thinking that Rob might end up close to 54. That's what I'm thinking by the end of the night. And that's fairly close to what I expected, to be honest with you. Now the biggest, and then the C2, I think that one I actually expected the C2 to be a little bit closer, and I think it will be very slightly closer. But if it's within 1 point, now that'd be pretty significant. I don't know if this was going to get into recount category or recount territory or not, but I did expect it to be close. The Randy Foster and Tom Gom, I know a lot of Democrats are pretty confident about their candidate there. That one right there, that one's a little bit shocking to see the gap there.
yeah.
Yeah,
No doubt. So I did some quick math here. Like I said, you didn't see my hand, so I had my shoes off counting.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between the two candidates in our mayor race is 33,148 votes.
Yeah. And then we are only an audience for those who are watching. We only have counted not us, but SOE only has counted 6%, 6 precincts right now. So we have 12. How many more?
10 more.
10 more to count. 10 more precincts to count.
Hey, I didn't have to take my shoes off for that one.
Yeah.
But and keep in mind, I got the election day vote only accounted for 22%. So about 4 out of 5 voters have already been counted. Plus, we've got some of that 22% in those 6 precincts. We're less than 15. We're less than 20%. Excuse me. And there were a total in Palm Bay. Let me go back to where I pulled it out from precincts. I haven't pulled them all out completely from the 7 o'clock totals because we've moved over to the results. But there were 66,000. There can't be that many more. Maybe there's 66.5 when we get the total in there. And right now, if you look at the totals on the summary ballots, you see the largest ones for mayor. It's around 5,100. That would, but you got to remember, there's a lot of undervotes in there. I'm betting that's probably about 55,000 votes or ballots that have been counted. It's just about 5,000 or 10% did not actually vote. And that's been kind of normal in the past for city council races to have that type of large undervote, which means that you're only left with about, at that point, maybe 11, 12,000. There's maybe no more than 12,000 votes still out there. So trying to swing a couple thousand votes out of 12, it's extremely hard. You would have to dominate all those precincts, and I just don't think that happened today.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
We've got over 80% of the votes counted, even though it looks like 6 out of 16 seems like a low number.
Yeah.
As far as election day polls or precincts.
Yeah. But It is. I mean, I know these numbers are going to be shocking to some, but I have been envisioning something like this happening for a while, especially with C3, because of certain things that have been happening in the atmosphere. And I'm not so shocked. I'm not so shocked by C3. I know the audience may be shocked, but I'm not so shocked because of I work in the back of the situation and having to field phone calls and talk to individuals as a journalist. But I have to also keep my mouth zipped when it comes to certain things because I'm a journalist, and so I have to respect whatever being said to me. But I'm not shocked by these numbers at all. I am definitely not shocked. I know it's going to be shocked for some, but I'm not shocked. Yeah. Let's see. No more updates yet, folks. But if there's another race that you want us to look at, let's give you some highlights. Let's talk about West Melbourne, one of our neighboring cities. West Melbourne City Council is basically we have a Pat Bentley, and she's at 32%, 7,374 votes. Cass and go ahead.
So Pat's is actually a gentleman, and Pat's been on the council, so he's got some incumbency or name recognition.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Yeah. So thank you for that correction. So
Kevin, if I could move us out of the Palm Bay area here just for a second. Our District 8 for Congress, Bill Posey has a very commanding lead of almost 60% to Jim Kennedy's 40%. Our state senator, Debbie Mayfield, is in a three-word race with Scott Fretwell and Philip Snyder. I believe you had Mr. Snyder on the program. She also has a commanding lead with 58% of the vote. For State Representative District 50, Coach Placienza also has 65% of the vote. That's very commanding. You're not going to be able to turn that around not anytime soon. The incumbent for State Rep District 51, 60% of the vote. Thad Altman, District 52, almost 62% of the vote. And then State Representative Randy Fine at District 53, he has 54% of the vote. And that's 22 out of 37 precincts reporting. And the distance between the two candidates has effectively remained the same. So Phil is pulling about 45% of the vote to Randy Fine's 54%.
Okay. All right. I know we're here on the doing our live local races, but I think one state has been called for President Trump. He has picked up 11 electoral votes, and I think that state, let me see what state this is, if I can find out. Somebody get to it faster than me, let me know. But I'm just taking a glimpse here on one of the websites here to see. My computer is acting slow because I have all these apps open up. So bear with me. I'll get you that.
You need to close those things.
Yeah, no, because we need them for the show.
Well, real quick, we're up to 10 precincts now. Okay. Ron Medina is at 53.77, so he's getting close to that 54-point benchmark. Donnie Felix is at 52.10. Peter, so that's closing. That's now down to almost a 4-point race. They're within 2,100 votes of one another about. And they were at 2,500 earlier, so they've closed a little bit. And then of course, Randy Foster is still leading with about 11,000 votes.
Wow. So when we reach to what, like 11 precincts counted or 12 precincts, then we can call it for Randy?
I think they're all three called. I think it's going to be Mayor Medina, Councilman Felix, and Councilman Foster.
Foster.
Yeah.
Foster's obviously, no, that one's easy. And I think Medina's is pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah, so
He's got 4,100 votes. And they're not, I don't even know if there's 4,100 votes left at this point. They've got almost 54,000. And as I told you guys earlier, they're 53,600. So if I round it up to the thousand, it's 54,000. And there were only approximately 66,000 cast.
Mm-hmm.
And then given the fact I know that there's an undervote there, that one's done. That one's really done. And I really think that Donnie Felix, you can call that one. There's not going to be Donnie would have to lose at least by 80% on the remaining 6. I don't even think this one's going to get into recount territory at this point.
Okay. Well, you guys keep on talking while I'm going to try to see if I can raise either Mr. Donnie Felix or somebody here on the phone.
Okay.
Let me see. So keep on.
So, Mr. Bailey, I got a question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about moving Palm Bay forward with the predictions that we've already made for our elections for tonight? Since how you are a sitting councilman.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to working with everybody. I know I didn't have any animosity or anything really bad about saying any of these guys that were running. I think everybody knows that I was very welcoming of some new, fresh faces. I know a majority of them, and the people that won, fairly well. When Randy Foster was going to run for city council a couple years ago, I sat down and talked to him. What I'm hoping, though, is that they kind of ran slates. So there's a little bit. I'm hoping that there's no friction left over. That's what I'm hoping for as a council member, and I'm just hoping they come in with open minds and ready to learn. I've been talking to our charter officers about making sure what we can do and to help everybody because look, we're gonna have 3 new people. The deputy mayor has only got 2 years experience at this point. I'm gonna have the wealth of as far as experience goes on council. So we've been working with them. Like, how can we get everybody else up to speed? Doing some type of retreat type setting and really trying to lock things in, bringing officials in from the League of Cities. So I'm glad they took some initiative in that, and I've been working with them because ultimately the staff's going to. I'm not going to be able to directly talk to them anymore. I got to talk to a lot of them on the campaign trail. So anyhow, it's going to be interesting. This was a surprising result. I thought that if the mix was going to be like this, then Kay might win. Or I thought it was going to be maybe Donnie, Robin, and Tom. So to be honest with you, this wasn't necessarily the mix that I thought was likely to happen because I felt like if this was going to happen, Kay was going to win too. So anyhow, it's just interesting. But I'm looking forward to working with all of them, and I think that they have their heart in the right place. So hopefully we can work together.
No, I've noticed. I mean, I think you and I have talked once or twice before because I think I've called you with respect to that planetarium up in Cocoa, and I'll admit I haven't had a chance to chase it all down with everything else going on. But I think you are one of the more popular city council members because everybody likes you. You're a teacher, so you kind of just have that vibe, and I like you too. So first off, I appreciate the fact that you are giving everyone a little bit of insight of what goes on behind the scenes, and that in the event that someone were to choose to run for city council, that they're not just going to get fed to the wolves, so to speak. That there's like an NDOC period that you have to go through, and it's not going to be one of these things where like, okay, swear, do you? Okay, good, sit down. We're having a vote in about 15 minutes. Here's what you need to read. Get ready. That could be a little unnerving.
Yeah, they're going to have. Look, they sign up for the job. They're definitely going to have to hit the ground running. I think it's important to take some baby steps on some of the big items because people kind of get these feelings of overall policy issues that kind of carry over from federal. They fit well with like federal level issues and state issues. But when you get to the complexities of things, some of the ideology or sometimes things get a little bit convoluted. You ultimately want to make the best decision for the city. So they're going to have to look. They're going to be put through the fire. We're going to have there's going to be P&Z stuff that's going to come before us. and they get to be on the hot seat sooner rather than later. But hopefully we can be there and support and help them. And I'm just looking forward to having a fresh council and a council that hopefully doesn't have a cloud over it.
Okay, guys,
yeah,
I
no
have
doubt.
Mr. Donnie Felix on the phone, and right now, Mr. Felix, I'm going to put you on speaker. Can you hear us? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay, awesome. So, Mr. Felix, right now, we're showing 15 precincts, counted. You're sitting at 51.96%, 27,710 votes. Mr. Filberto, it's at 25,621 votes at 48%. So pretty much only one precinct left to count. So with that, it's safe to say that you are next councilman. What do you think?
I would agree. Kevin. Let me take a moment to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution to the community. But for what you do as well, creating that platform for to provide opportunity for folks in Palm Bay to be informed. I think somewhat what I expected. But by any means, Kevin, I'm very humble for the opportunity that voters in Palm Bay provided, and they came out and voted. They elected me for the seat, for seat 2. I'm very humble and very thankful for that opportunity. We embraced it. I was a bit nervous because for so long we shot at 52%, with 10 precincts still left to be counted. So I'm glad to see the results.
Okay, awesome.
I'm satisfied with the results.
Awesome. Any questions for Mr. Felix, gentlemen?
No, just, hey, Donnie, I don't know if you can hear me. It's Jeff Bailey here. Just want to say congratulations. Just look forward for you coming on the board and just get ready to work.
Councilman Bailey, thank you so much. You and I have a great relationship, and I want to make it clear tonight, and I will also continue on. I want to make sure to, once I get to sit on the dais, to really work with, come together and work, regardless party line, regardless, ideology. Let's put all that aside and go to work for the great city and the great citizens of Palm Bay. That's what I'm willing to do. And Councilman Bailey, again, thank you so much for constantly advising, and I look forward to work with my fellow council members.
Okay, awesome. And just so you know, Palm Bay Live will be watching and we'll be reporting.
Absolutely. We need good media. We need people that constructive criticism, and that is there to support and to promote. As long as we put Palm Bay first in all our criticism and all our decisions to move the city forward, I'm all for it. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, sir. And is Mr. Foster ready to talk? He's at
Mr. Foster sounds like he's in the middle of a celebration, and people are talking. I'll try to grab him for you as soon as you get a second. Looks like he's in the middle of some stuff right now. People are talking, so it's hard to get him.
Okay, all right. Please grab him because I'm getting off the live here soon. So if you could grab him, that'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so guys, so we only have one more box to count, as we would say, one more precinct to count right now with and to close out the night. This is pretty much a done deal. It looks like it's going to be Mayor Medina, like we Councilman Felix and Councilman Foster. That's where we're at right now. So congrats to our new elected officials on securing your victory. For those who did not secure a spot on this seat on the dais, please continue to work with the city. Continue to work in different aspects with the city to help move Palm Bay forward. That's my hope. That's my hope for everyone, is for us to work together in peace, in harmony, so the city can grow. There's a lot of stuff that's coming into the city. You have the Emerson project off Babcock. That's going to be humongous. I've seen the plans for that. That is going to be a big deal. So let's move Palm Bay forward. Let's work together to unite everyone so we can all have one objective: grow Palm Bay, put Palm Bay in a better spotlight, so we can get out of the mouths of other individuals who don't like Palm Bay, and we can all be in one accord. That's my hope. That's my hope as somebody that's looking in. I'm not looking to run for council, and a lot of folks have approached me about running for council at some point in the future. That is not going to happen. So I will be staying with Palm Bay Live. No time soon. But this is somebody, and Mr. Bailey knows this, and individuals have talked to me in the past. I'm very passionate about this city, and I'm very passionate about seeing the city grow in a positive light. This is why I created Palm Bay Live, because I want to promote the better half of Palm Bay, not so much the negative. And so it's certain times I don't dwell on certain aspects of things and try to put certain news out there, because I was like, another bad eye for us again. And it's sometimes difficult not to report these news stories, but going forward, it has to be done. Now, all precincts are counted. The polls it's done, folks. It's official. K. Mirage, 45%. Rob Medina, 54%. Donnie Felix, C2, 51%. Peter Filberto, 48%. Ronnie Foster, 60%. To Thomas Guam, 39%. So all precincts have been counted and reported. So that is the end result for the night. So that is now official. We have a new body. Thoughts, gentlemen? Thoughts, gentlemen? Mr. Bailey, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the some results. Yeah, I mean, it's I tell you what, I wouldn't have predicted this particular set. I think there's obviously, you got only 3 different seats with 2 people in there, so there's only so many possibilities and outcomes here. This wasn't necessarily one that I was really contemplating. It's certainly interesting. I'm looking forward to working with them, and like I was saying to Ron earlier, when we were just talking on the side there, I think that for me, I think I have a positive relationship with everybody. Some people I know better and talk to more than others that I'll be serving with, but I think that I've been nothing but positive with them, and I'm looking forward to having some new blood on council, and I'm hoping that we can move the city forward and just have a new set of eyes. Sometimes it feels like things get into a certain motion, but for me, it's kind of like we got to reset, and hopefully we can work together well to move the city forward.
Yes. Ron, any closing thoughts on this?
Closing thoughts. Well, you know what? Sometimes when things don't work out the way we hope that they will, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. So, like Councilman Bailey was saying, a good mix, fresh eyes, fresh attitude, open eyes and clear hearts. That's what's going to move the city forward. The electorate with Palm Bay is very engaged, very, very engaged. So not only will Palm Bay Live be watching, all of Palm Bay will be watching as well. And these are some very engaged folks. So you can't really, as we used to say back in my old neighborhood, you can't really fake the funk with them.
Right.
And they will call you out. They'll call you out in a heartbeat. Again, I want to pass on my most sincere best wishes to all of our winners, our elected officials for this evening. And as long as they succeed, we will succeed. And I think come tomorrow, once all of this is over, it is incumbent upon all of us citizens, and all of us, not only just as citizens of Palm Bay, but Brevard County of Florida and the United States, to move behind our people. And again, with the thought in mind that as long as they are successful, then we succeed as well.
Yeah. So, folks, again, to recap, Mr. Benina will be our new mayor, Mayor Benina. He won with 54% of the votes, 30,650 votes cast in his favor. Mr. Donnie Felix will represent C2. He won with 51% of the vote, 28,000 votes cast for him. Seat 3, Ronnie Foster will be our new councilman as well. And he won with 60% of the votes at 32,917 votes cast in his favor. So that's a lot of votes.
That's a lot of
that's
votes.
that's a decisive win. That's the most decisive win I've seen on this board right now, because that's 60% to 39.18%. That's a decisive win by Mr. Foster. So yeah, that's where we at. We have a new council.
Yes, sir.
We have a new 3 individuals will be occupying those seats. As a city, all we can do is support them, and Palm Bay Live will be watching them and reporting on them. So if they mix up, if they make a mistake, we will be there to talk about it. But we hope that doesn't happen. We hope nothing but positive things, so we can all work as one body to move the city forward. And it's been a pleasure, Palm Bay. It's been a pleasure serving you in this capacity as your host for Palm Bay Live, in bringing you these interviews night after night for the last several months. It's been a pleasure doing this. I thank you for your tremendous support. Another way you can support me is you can go to palmbaylive.com, hit the donation button, and drop me a love offering, because I've pretty much been running Palm Bay Live on empty for the last several months. So if you could support me, that would be awesome, so we can continue the good work with Palm Bay Live. Remember, we are a 501c operation, so it is tax deductible. I thank you again for your tremendous support. Any closing words? Are we that's it? We can go to the general election now and go watch to see how that turns out. So
yep.
Grab your popcorns and go in front of your big screen TVs and see what happens for the rest of the night. But
yep.
Man, I got to
Good
go
night,
back
gentlemen.
to work. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Take it easy, guys. And it's been fun. And we'll be back on the live at some point in time. We'll let you know when we'll do another Palm Bay Live event. It will be announced in your Facebook groups or Facebook pages throughout. Have a good night, Palm Bay. Again, thank you so much. Good night. God bless.
All right. Good night,
Thanks,
Ron.
Kevin.
Good night, Kevin.
Good night.
Good night, Mr. Bailey.